Hey, Right Side Broadcasting, Grace Saldana here with Joe Kent, Congressional candidate for the 3rd District of Washington State. Joe Kent, it's great to have you here.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So tell us, you recently announced your run about 2 weeks ago.
I did, yeah.
So what inspired you to run?
So really what inspired me to run was a combination of things. So the election of November 2020 going the way that it did with widespread irregularities and potential fraud, and then watching big tech, the media, and the establishment all move in lockstep to attempt to convince everyone that Joe Biden won an overwhelming victory, and that we couldn't even question it. To even ask the question, you'd be deplatformed or banned or labeled as a terrorist or insurrectionist. So that really got me thinking, hey, I need to do something. I just didn't know exactly what I wanted to do until my representative, who I voted for, Jamie Herrera Butler, voted for the sham impeachment of President Trump, and then volunteered to be the star witness. So that really made it clear to me that I needed to take action. I needed to throw my hat in the ring to get her out of office and bring the people's voices back to D.C.
So you're an America First candidate,
I am.
And you're running against this person who is obviously not aligned with that agenda. So what will you bring to the table for your district?
Exactly. So the first thing I will bring a fight back to our district. So our district has had a Republican in name only for the last decade or so. She would not go fight for our district. So we have a lot of rural issues. We have underserved rural communities. We have infrastructure that's going very, very badly. We need roads improvements. We have broadband internet access in all of our rural community issues right now. So I'm going to fight for those issues, push back against the far left that's on our doorstep in Portland and Seattle. The spread of homeless people and anarchy from Antifa and other organizations that's coming from there needs to be pushed back on. It needs to be condemned in the strongest possible way. We need federal law enforcement assistance in some cases to limit all the criminal activity that goes along on the I-5 corridor up and down the West Coast between those sanctuary cities.
Right.
So the two biggest things I'm going to do is fight for my district and always listen to my district. Representative Butler got really comfortable in her seat in the Beltway. She didn't go out to the rural counties to hear what their issues were, and she just forgot who she worked for. So that's what I want to bring back to the 3rd District. I want to make the 3rd heard again.
Awesome. Would you describe yourself as a law and order candidate?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
So my background, I served for over 20 years in U.S. Army Special Operations.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much. I was in the intelligence community for a little bit after that. I'd intended on staying in the intelligence community after my retirement. However, my world kind of got turned upside down about 2 years ago. My wife, Shannon Kemp, was killed in Syria.
Gosh.
Fighting for our country, fighting against ISIS at a very critical time.
Wow.
Thank you. At a very critical time in our nation's history. President Trump had just tried to get our troops out of Syria. And that's, as we all know, when he tried to do that and put America first, the establishment turned against him in lockstep. So Secretary Mattis and the rest of the deep state.
The warmongers.
Exactly. The warmongers started to make it seem like President Trump was threatening our nation by trying to get us out of a war when we had accomplished our military objective. So that kind of put me on the trajectory where I knew, despite all the personal loss that I had, that I needed to start speaking out and start to bring my experiences from not just the military and the war on terror, but my life experience and my values, and bring those back to serving our people right here at home.
That is so inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So how can people support your campaign or support you in the 3rd District of Washington State?
You can go to joekentforcongress.com. They can read all about my issues, my platforms there. They can contact me. There's a donate tab. Right now I'm in a fight for resources. So our incumbent, she has a massive war chest. She has a good deal of resources. So I need everyone's support. So if they can donate, I'd really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you.
Joe Kent. And what's your website?
joekentforcongress.com.
joekentforcongress.com. There you have it. Thank you so much.